We haven't done a proper interview, have we?
No, never.
So there's...
we always talk over the phone.
Yeah, so there's lots of dirt to dig from the early days. For starters, you met at college, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, because you all come from different sort of places.
Yeah.
Tell us honestly, where did you meet first? Was it in a bar or something? Or were you doing same courses?
We were all in the same hall's residence in the first year.
And what did you think of the lad, honestly?
He had big hair. Properly big hair.
I had big hair, yeah.
I thought...
Typical school leaver.
Yeah, big afro, and it struck me as being a very funny individual. No, it was good. It was cool. Just instantly, clicked.
So when did you get the ideas to put the band together then?
Well, what happened was there was this one silent guy called Johnny, and it was like that scene out of Back to the Future. But one time he had a guitar, and it was like, God, that kid can play, you know.
Really?
And he was better than everyone. So I thought, right, got to try and work with him a bit, try and write some songs. And so we just sat down one day in his room, and I really was inspired by what he was doing. I'd never had that before, that what you wrote together was better than anything you could do on your own.
Yeah.
It just felt quite special.
Yeah.
From straight away.
So the band is formed, and then we do the self-financed first EP.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Our manager was our best mate. He gave us some money to do that.
Phil gives you the cash.
That's right. Yeah.
And so you do that, and when it comes back, what do you think? This sounds great.
Yeah, we did actually. That was the recording we've been happiest with, because we did it really quickly. Until we just thought, I think we were more surprised than anything that it turned out good. And we just made 500 copies, and
that'll be a rarity one day, won't it?
Yeah.
Worth pence.
I mean, a lot.
Well, we sent them off. We sent loads of copies off to minor DJs. And, no one ever played them.
That's very strange just to say that.
We mentioned that to you about a year ago.
I know. And then when I was at home the other day looking around at stuff, I suddenly found this.
I wanna be bigger, stronger, drive a faster car.
That's it, isn't it?
Have you got it? Did he really have it?
I really have found it.
Oh my God, well, respect to you.
All that cussing we gave you on the stage.
Oh my God, sorry.
Didn't put it in the bin like
Good
you
man.
thought.
I'm sorry.
I
take back everything I said. I take back all those things I've written in the press about you. All those letters we send under names. And
so after that,
that's great.
There was a few gigs, wasn't there? And then
we've done 94 gigs now.
Have you? Because there was you did a couple, and then you did that session for us before you were signed, didn't you? Then after that, signed at Parlophone. What did you do to celebrate?
Exams.
Really? Was it? So it wasn't. There wasn't some big blowout. Limo.
We went to some restaurant, didn't we?
We went to
That's about it.
Restaurant for a meal, and then
It wasn't very flash.
Very restrained.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. I think we were just a bit overawed. You couldn't quite believe what we were doing. And
you still look overawed now.
Yeah, I feel a bit strange about this.
Well, the thing is, it has been, although, you were around for a while, it has been then a whirlwind, really, the last 16 months, hasn't it? Because as soon as it's started, picking up pace, you've had to do so much. As you say, you've played lots of gigs, which we'll talk about later on. But then you had to go in and obviously make an album, which must have seemed like a really daunting task, did it?
Well, what happened was we had about 6 months of just confusion, but luckily we were allowed to go in the studio, and we still are on a massive learning curve, And so we were given a lot of time to prepare for recording our first album. They didn't just put us in straight away, because I think we would have just gone mental.
What was the hardest bit, even when you got in there? Was there one particular track which was just wake
Trouble.
Up sweating?
There was, to be honest, I know it sounds a bit sort of pathetic now. It's hardly working down in mind, but it was really quite stressful, but really rewarding in the end. But it was painful.
Right.
We had some great days, but I remember it was my birthday in March the 2nd, and I come in the morning and there were all these balloons and there were presents and everything, and the mood couldn't have been worse. When you're meant to be really jolly and something's gone wrong, it was like, so that was like the lowest of the low.
And that was what, Trouble, did you say?
Yeah, that was on the song Trouble, I think.
We're going to play this track, actually.
Great.
From the new Coldplay, the debut Coldplay album, Parachutes. This is Trouble. It's Coldplay on the evening session from the new album Parachutes, which doesn't have a parachute on the cover, but has
a globe.
A globe. So that's on the cover, and not the photo shoot from Harlow.
No,
that's right.
But the Harlow photo shoot.
The Harlow photo shoot.
That
you're grinning.
Right. Not quite right.
Not quite what was required.
Well, it's funny because we were being put off by all these little guys playing football when we were doing them, you know, just looking up at us and laughing.
But I just want to know who you are.
I know, and we're nobody, so that's why. You say, oh, God, is that Northern Line or someone? No, it's not.
Leave it with Northern Lights go there. So if the album, talking about the album's recording, so Trouble, that was a hard one to nail down. If there were downsides, what were the ones that just thought, yes, that is it? You mentioned Yellow.
No, that was hard.
It was a struggle, but again, it's always the end when you listen back and we're all happy with the stuff, and that's when it's the best feeling. But there are some ones that came a lot quicker than others.
Because there's a lot, must be quite hard putting some of the songs together because they possess in them a certain amount of frailty. Do you think the songs on this album?
I don't know, I find it really hard to talk about it like that.
Well, you're a musician, you would, obviously. This is what we find. Bands come in here and they say, yeah, we'd like to come on and talk about the record. Actually, it hurts.
Well, the thing is, you know, and I'm sure that people will slate it and slam it, and you know, but we just wanted to make a record that was really emotive.
You see, this is the thing, you have to stop here, right?
Why?
Because there's a certain amount of physician cure thyself on this record, I think. Start off, the first track on the album is called Don't Panic.
Yeah, sure.
Now, this is surely a song from you to you, being the warrior of the band.
Is that with an O or an A? Warrior.
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 You're the warrior. The frown lines are already beginning to come through.
They really are. Do you know what? All of us, some of us have lost a little bit of hair, and some of us have got lines on our face just from recording. I know, I mean, we all worry, you know what I mean? Some of us are just more vocal about it than others.
Right.
But a lot of the songs are messages to ourselves, you know?
There is that thing that there are demons in this record. You know, there's a certain feeling unsettled. There's a track, Spies, which is about feeling unsettled from the moment you wake up.
Yeah, sure.
Autobiographical?
No, you see...
Yes. No.
Well, see, we don't really spend a lot of time on lyrics and stuff because the best lyrics just sort of come out, you know, which in a way I suppose means they can't be completely unrelated to you, otherwise they wouldn't just sort of come out. But at the end of that song, it all gets all right again, you know. That's why a lot of that song particularly is quite melancholic, you know, quite sinister, but it does end happily.
And it's recurring sort of words and themes as well. Skin and bones. Mm-hmm. That's a thing which comes...
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones.
Yeah. Bones.
There's a lot of bones.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's sort of real stuff. It's actually getting to, you know, just flesh and bone. The actual vocabulary that you use is not so much about, you know, bits of things and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just about what makes up a person.
Well, you obviously listen to it, man. This is great. But that it is. But you know, I find it really hard to talk about lyrics without sounding really pretentious and stupid. You know, they just come out, and we often choose lyrics because they sonically sound nice, you know. Simple, and that's why often things recur, because I haven't got a big imagination.
You're the man who, was it in one interview I read, the cathartic process of writing songs, quote, well, you have to drain the radiator sometime. Is that right?
Yeah, true.
That's a killer. I'd hold on to that one. I won't push you on the repetition of Bubble then. There is obviously...
That comes up loads.
There is, well, you had to say, I mean, to round it off, there is this really, obviously, quite positive side to the whole record. Because what's the last word on the last track? Not the secret track. As you get to the end of the last track.
Everything's not lost.
Everything's not lost. Was that
totally. You know, we were very happy guys most of the time. I mean, because a lot of the music we love the most is really sad, but it somehow has this uplifting quality to it, and that's really what we wanted to try and get.
Listen, practice makes perfect. Come back and see us again. Have a good summer. Festivals and stuff, V2000, isn't it, and all that sort of thing for you. Okay.
Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips, that's what you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
We'll play another track from the album. I'll let you pick one.
Spies it is.
It's Spies.
Sinister.
Arriving in a blaze of modesty. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
It's Coldplay on the evening session.